Hotshot's look to the movie. Death at a Funeral is a very funny British comedy directed by Frank Oz, an American who knows a little bit about comedy himself. Oz, of course, is the voice underneath Miss Piggy and many of the other Muppets, as well as the director of such other comedies as the 1988 Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, the 1991 What About Bob, and the 1999 BOWFINGER. And the premise is fairly simple. Have a bunch of oddball characters attend a solemn funeral on a British estate, add a mixture of silly situations, and then watch the comedy ensue. It all gets off on the appropriately wrong foot when the coffin is delivered to the estate and Daniel looks inside. Daniel says, "Who's this?" The hearse driver says, "Pardon me?" Daniel says, "That's not my father." And the driver says, "We'll go back and get the right one." Then the family and guests arrive, all with their own eccentricities and comedic subplots. Martha arrives with her fiancé Simon, who is a solicitor anxious to impress Martha's father. However, when they stopped to pick up Martha's brother Troy, Martha gave Simon a Valium to calm him down, not knowing that the bottle in Troy's flat had been filled with LSD pills by Troy, who's studying to be a pharmacist. That bottle would turn up and go missing more than once at the funeral. Daniel's brother Robert arrives, and Robert is a successful novelist living in New York City who had agreed to pay for half the funeral. There is animosity between the brothers, and Daniel needs the money right away. There is Uncle Alfie, confined to a wheelchair and who is not at all what you would call a pleasant fellow. And there is Peter, a little person whom none of the family knows, but who was a friend of the deceased man. In fact, someone mentions that the turnout seems to indicate that the deceased has more friends dead than he did alive. However, Peter has more on his mind than just paying his respects, and he has the photographs to prove it. Needless to say, the ceremony gets interrupted, and eventually there is another body that has to be discreetly taken care of. Death at a Funeral is hilariously funny, and the dead man could rightly have been named Murphy. I'm Dan Culberson, and this is Hot Shots.